UPA's midsummer nightmare. From the left to the right, the opposition is demanding that the Prime Minister must resign. Parliament is in a state of meltdown as the UPA faces the political heat. The finance bill still has to go through. The 2G House panel is split down the middle. The CBI's affidavit before the Supreme Court is likely to seal the fate of the Law Minister, and now the Prime Minister's office finds itself drawn in the controversy as well, with reports suggesting that officials from the Prime Minister's office were involved in those discussions regarding that coal report that was finalized by the CBI. On the program tonight, from the JPC to the CBI, is the UPA responsible for institutional collapse? And where will the opposition demand for the Prime Minister's resignation lead? Will it lead to yet another fruitless and wasted session of Parliament? Let's introduce our panel this evening. Joining us tonight, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Deputy Leader of the BJP in the Rajya Sabha. Also joining us, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament and Senior Leader of the Congress Party, joining us from Lucknow tonight. Joining us tonight, Pinaki Mishra, Member of Parliament with the Biju Janata Dal, a party that attempted a meeting of all the opposition parties on the 2G House panel today. From Chennai tonight, as questions are raised yet again about the CBI and political pressure, R.K. Raghavan, former director of the CBI, and also joining us tonight, Sushil Kumar. He is, of course, a counsel representing A. Raja. A. Raja is wanting to depose before that 2G House panel, but nobody's letting him do so. Ravi Shankar Prasad, let me start by asking you, where eventually is this demand for the Prime Minister's resignation going to lead? Is this a mere rhetorical demand? Kamal Nath today said, well, the BJP keeps asking for the Prime Minister's resignation.
Well, Barkha, you keep on creating mess after mess, corruption after corruption, difficult to even count them. Now, in case of this whole Colgate scam, don't forget one thing. There is nothing like general discussion or a special discussion. The Supreme Court was assured by the law officers on March 12 in the last hearing the CBI affidavit status report had not been shared with anyone. The Supreme Court specifically injuncted the CBI from taking any lead or direction from any political authority. In spite of that, there are suspicious circumstances about involvement of PMO and also the direct involvement of the Law Minister. The factum of meeting having been held has not been denied till now. Mr. Kamal Nath, I read in the newspaper, had said that Mr. Ashwani Kumar may be correcting the grammar of the CBI affidavit. We have become wise, Barkha, that the CBI needs the tutorship of the Law Ministry to improve its English. Good luck. But who is going to believe it? And don't forget, in Colgate, there is no ally reference. Mr. Prime Minister was the coal minister. The two MOS, Dasinarayan Rao and Santosh Bagrodia, during the period of scam, were also belonging to Congress party. In this light, if the Supreme Court direction is being flouted, if there is a copybook, textbook case of CBI being sought to be pressurized into toning down the nature of its status report, coupled with what happened in 2G, are we not entitled to raise this question in all seriousness?
Okay.
Atmosphere and the grounds have been given, and we in opposition are perfectly entitled to raise this very legitimate demand, which we have done. That this government commits corruption with impunity, be it Colgate, be it 2G, be it helicopter scandal, be it Commonwealth. Let us not count the endless series of scams after scam, and then cover the flanks with impunity. If we ask questions, then we are said, sorry, you cannot ask. It is a routine misadventure. This is plainly not acceptable.
Abhishek Manu Singhvi, those are strong words coming from the opposition, from the left to the right today of the political spectrum. You're actually hearing the same thing. And now the point is that it is not just the Law Minister, it is the Prime Minister's office that has been drawn into this controversy. You have the opposition saying any email or written correspondence between the Prime Minister's office and the Law Minister on the coal report must be made public. After all, the Prime Minister did hold the coal portfolio. It was under his charge. The point is that how long can you keep isolating this controversy around the Law Minister? Why is the opposition not entitled to say the Prime Minister must come clean?
Barkha, give me my few moments, because you have a whole set of converging views, perhaps all of them opposed to me. Now, the first thing is that I reject it because I believe that there is much more of rhetoric, of sound and fury, and much less of substance in this whole thing. And why is there less substance? Because the real issue which the BJP is avoiding, answering on this program as well, is all those scams you are talking about don't justify you boycotting, disrupting Parliament. Please haul us over hot coals on them in Parliament. Please raise those issues which you are raising on the program today. Why are you running away from Parliament? That is not answered. Second, let's separate two aspects of the vetting of the CBI status report. There is not an iota, I repeat Barkha, there is nothing, not anything about the Prime Minister's involvement, direct or indirect, in directing, supervising or otherwise asking for a vetting of that report. So let's leave the Prime Minister out of it, except that you want sensationalism in everything. You want to bring him in only for sensationalism. So that's the Prime Minister. As far as the Law Minister is concerned, the matter is directly sub judice, as close by as this Friday or Monday. Whether the Law Minister did this or that, what he did, how he did it, what he meant, all this is directly sub judice, and the CBI is filing an affidavit or is yet to file an affidavit.
But Mr. Singhvi,
let the court decide. One second, let the court decide all this. 2 days before that court proceeding, BJP is disrupting Parliament on this issue. Nobody is saying that the court doesn't have the right to do it. So if you look at this vetting of the report in these two aspects, the Prime Minister is brought in purely for sensationalism, the Law Minister issue, let the court decide, and the CBI affidavit decide.
I'll get Ravi
Thirdly,
to, I'll get Ravi to come in. I have a question. Abhishek, I have a question
Yeah.
for you. My question is this. You say that the case is sub judice. Yes, what the CBI says to the court and what the court decides is sub judice. What is not sub judice is the fact of the meeting. The fact of the meeting between the Law Minister, the CBI Director and other officials of the CBI to discuss this report is not in dispute. It's not in dispute.
Let's assume that. Let's assume that for a moment, although we are not discussing the final facts. So what? Will that, there are only two fora. One is the court, read with the CBI affidavit.
Yeah.
The other is Parliament. One you have disrupted, the second you have not waited for. What will you do? You want something to happen because the BJP says resign, so everybody should jump up and resign.
Okay, Ravi Shankar Prasad.
You have two fora, I repeat, Barkha.
Yes.
You don't allow one to function and you don't allow the other to start. That is, you don't wait till Friday or Monday.
Let me just get Ravi Shankar Prasad for a quick rebuttal there before I take this to Pinaki. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Abhishek Singhvi has a point. You're debating this with him here on the buck stops here. So why not inside Parliament?
I'm very happy, Barkha, that Abhishek has raised this issue. The CBI's accountability for affidavit qua is before the Supreme Court. Mr. Singhvi is right. But the accountability of the Law Minister is towards the Parliament. Yesterday we raised this issue, and Honourable the Chairman in the Raj Sabha, I raised it, was very kind enough to permit a debate. Now we raised an issue that we want Honourable the Law Minister before the Raj Sabha, we have to ask certain questions and clarification. Thereafter, Barkha, the whole country saw the government ran away. We kept on asking. We were told that Honourable the Law Minister is very busy. His convenience will have to be looked into. I have been a Minister, Government of India. When the Parliament is on, it is the responsibility of every Minister to be available. We kept on saying before lunch, after lunch, and then finally we were given the impression that Law Minister is not available, he is too busy. Does Mr. Singhvi want a debate like this, that we are not even entitled to ask questions? Therefore, I repeat my charge. This government does corruption with impunity and then covers the flank shamelessly. We saw that happening in the Parliament. In the whole 2G, we have so many debates, Barkha, including debate on your channel in the last so many years. What is happening in the JPC, I cannot say more except to say that I'm a member there.
Yes.
But some of the conclusions as have appeared in the media are astounding. Therefore, if the government has been elected by the people to govern, which they are misgoverning with impunity, the people have also given us the responsibility to hold the government accountable.
Okay, let me
on
take
which
this.
The government runs away when being confronted.
Ravi Shankar Prasad, good point about the absence of Ashwini Kumar in Parliament. Abhishek Singhvi, yesterday the Rajya Sabha did debate the issue of sexual violence against minors. That discussion did go on. You are aware of that. The opposition was ready for a discussion on this entire CBI fracas as well. But where is the absent Law Minister? Where is he?
Let me answer straight away. The discussion on that horrific, horrible rape went on, but would not have gone on had the BJP had its way of disruption. They were partly shamed into it because several parties said this is a priority to be discussed first. And when that started, no party could seem to be running away from it. That's why the discussion rightly took place. as far as the law minister is concerned, there is, I think, some selectivity with the truth. The problem was that the BJP wanted then and there, on demand, the law minister to come ready. Nobody denied that issue will be discussed.
So when will he be ready to make a statement?
That the matter will be discussed.
When will the law minister make a statement?
The law minister would, well, it has to be worked out. I mean, it could be next day, it could be today for all you know. The whole disruption was engineered on the ground that immediately, right now, come here, make a statement. So that we'll grill you, we'll embarrass you, we'll sensationalize it.
Mr. Singhvi, it's been 10 days that we haven't heard from the law minister.
No, Parliament started yesterday. Parliament started 2 days ago. What are you talking?
Okay, we'll wait to see if he speaks in Parliament. Pinaki Mishra, here's the political question. The BJD today attempted a kind of meeting of several of the opposition parties to try and work out a common strategy. There are two things happening in Parliament right now, and we're looking at the possible institutional collapse of both. There is the CBI controversy and there is the House panel on the 2G scam, of which Ravi, as he said, is a member. We also have Sushil Kumar, who represents A. Raja. Now, you have this situation where the main accused in this case, the former telecom minister, wants to depose. The House panel is not calling him. But the opposition also has a problem that it seems that every time it comes to the crunch, the Congress is able to establish some sort of numerical game by which you can't corner them. So this demand today from the entire opposition, the PM must go, the PM must go. Where is this headed? Is it headed somewhere substantive? Pinaki?
I think it's quite clear. I don't think the Prime Minister will resign. The Prime Minister in this country never resigns. Indeed, in no parliamentary democracy does a Prime Minister ever resign unless the government falls. Because the government will fall if the Prime Minister resigns. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think what will happen is that the Law Minister, who has clearly done his Prime Minister no favor, indeed, I think he's done him a huge disfavor by bringing him within this pale of extraordinary controversy by this extraordinarily silly or venal self-goal, if I may say so. I think his position, as I have said before, has become untenable. And what will happen is that he will ultimately have to go. Dr. Singhvi is wrong when he says that the Supreme Court will decide his fate. The Supreme Court can only censure him. It's ultimately the Supreme Court can't order the Prime Minister to sack him. Yeah. Or indeed, as Ravi Shankar is right, that he is ultimately answerable to Parliament and to the conscience of the Congress party. The fact that he has attempted to meddle in this extraordinary fashion, I think must not obtain to his credit at all, or indeed to the credit of the Congress party. I think the Congress party is hugely embarrassed today, all day in the Central Hall. That's all people talked about. He has very little sympathy within his own party, I can tell you that. So I sense that ultimately what will happen is his position is precarious. As far as the other issues concerned, yes, in the JPC, clearly the government is in a minority. Therefore, all the political parties which are ideologically clearly opposed to the Congress today, I think, had a meeting. And I don't know how the Congress is going to get over this minority status in the JPC. All the jod tod ki rajniti that they're so adept at, I think finally, maybe running out of its steam. I don't see them managing a majority.
Okay, we'll look at the we'll actually look at the dead heat.
Positioned themselves in a very bad position there.
We'll look at the dead heat in the JPC in terms of numbers, but we want to raise the wider question of the institutional collapse. Before I take this back to Abhishek Singhvi and Ravi Shankar Prasad, R.K. Raghavan, to you, the CBI in this position where our sources saying there was a full-blown flare-up between the law minister and the CBI director, the CBI kind of treading here on thin ice, wanting to seem independent, going to argue in court that we did not change the essence of our report, even though these were the changes suggested to us, whether of grammar or of substance. Mr. Raghavan, how cornered would the CBI director or the agency be at this point?
Yeah, thank you, Barka, for inviting me to this important debate. Let me make it very clear at the outset that I am neither amused nor surprised.
Yeah.
The CBI is heading towards this kind of a catastrophe where there is an allegation of direct interference by the law minister. I am not here on the veracity of the complaint, but the fact that there are widespread reports that the law minister sent for the CBI director and did have a look at what the director was going to present in the Supreme Court. That is quite a grave allegation, but still we are in the realm of speculation. I would like to know what exactly the CBI director is going to tell the Supreme Court, because this is a Supreme Court monitored investigation. And if the law minister had in fact wanted the director to come out to his office and show him the status report, that is grave impropriety.
Yeah.
But I would like to know who took the initiative. Did the director take the initiative, or did the law minister take the initiative to summon the director and wanted him to show the report? That's the first thing. That has to become very clear.
Yes.
Did the director volunteer to show the report? Again, we'll have to make check on that. Second, if the law minister did in fact have a look and did make a few changes, that will be grave impropriety. That should invite the ire of the Supreme Court of India.
Yeah.
So we are still in the realm of speculation. But I am not surprised by these developments if all that has come out in public, the public domain, is true.
And Mr. Raghavan, now, Mr. Raghavan, sir, this is now going beyond. This is now going beyond the law minister. Though Abhishek Singhvi says it's sub judice, there is enough evidence and no denial. And Abhishek, this is important. There is no denial from the Prime Minister's office this evening that its officials were not involved in any discussion. There's no denial, Mr. Raghavan.
But I would like to please give me a chance to elaborate.
Yes.
I would like to make sure that the PMO did in fact send a few mails to the PMO and asking the law ministry to interfere. I would like to know whether there were emails. Otherwise, it's a pure speculation. We can't indict the PMO on the basis of speculations. I would like to see the emails if they had gone, directing the law minister to have a look at it. But fundamental to this, I would like the entire nation to know that the law ministry has one of its officers as the director of prosecution. I am afraid he is a plant in the CBI to keep monitoring what is happening within the CBI and keep the law ministry informed. It may not happen all the time, but I am distressed by the lack of independence on the part of the chief law officer of the CBI, who has carved out a niche for himself, a domain for himself, whereby the CBI director feels suffocated.
I think that's a very important point.
Officer of
sir,
the
sir,
CBI,
let me interrupt you. That's a very important point. I think a lot of our viewers don't know that there is in fact such a structural arrangement. Before I go take this to Sushil Kumar, who's been waiting patiently, Abhishek Singhvi wanting to come in briefly there on what R.K. Raghavan is saying.
Three big points quickly. First of all, about the CBI, you must remember the very sharp and clear distinction I've been making. As far as the Prime Minister is concerned, I repeat, and I think that's broadly what Mr. Raghavan is saying, whatever is said about him is complete speculation, not an iota of evidence about his involvement. That is not his, but his office's involvement in this. So I think there is no question of going down that path unless some credible information or credible allegation is there. As far as the law minister is concerned, I have very carefully and repeatedly said, I am not going to the merits. I am not opposing, saying anything. I am only saying that there are two places where this can be discussed and should be settled. First would be the Supreme Court on 2 or 3 days later, and that's a bit premature to do it. And the second would be Parliament eventually.
Okay.
And that's all that I am saying. I am not saying on the merits.
Okay.
Now,